red on this New Year's Day. Red for Nebraska and red for Oklahoma. 1912. It was at this site in Lincoln, Nebraska, that the 58-game series between Oklahoma and Nebraska was spawned. And according to those early accounts of the 13-9 Cornhusker victory, it was an appropriate preview of the many classic battles to follow. The speedy Oklahomans and the powerful Nebraskans. Legendary coach Benny Owen led those early Oklahoma teams, and in the school's next meeting in 1919 on a snowy field in Omaha, Coach Owen's thin-skinned players, as they were quoted from the South, took the blankets from their hotel, using them to keep warm during the game. After a 7-7 tie, the Sooners left Nebraska, and according to reports, Coach Owen did return the hotel's blankets. When Oklahoma was on the road in those days in the 1920s, football fans would gather outside the Western Union office in Norman, where a play-by-play account of the game was read by megaphone to the crowds in the street. 1922 was Nebraska's first visit to Oklahoma, and despite the fierce heat and a 30-mile gale, Cornhuskers were victorious. First trip down to Soonerland, 39-7. OU's first win in the series would be 2 years later, 1924. Described this way in the Cornhusker yearbook, the Dawsonites made a drab showing, allowed the Indians to give a lesson in the gridiron art at the costly reckoning of 14-7. The Sooner Gladiators overlooked nothing in encompassing Nebraska's defeat. But Nebraska held the edge in the 1920s, winning 5, losing 1, and tying 1. In the 1930s, it was the reign of the Little Colonel at Nebraska, Coach Dana X. Bible. His teams dominated the Big Six Conference and were 6-1-1 against Oklahoma clubs. In the 1940s, Oklahoma gained the advantage, winning 7 of 10 meetings. The 40s marked the beginning of a Sooner dynasty. The architect, Bud Wilkinson. His teams dominated not only Nebraska, but every other school in the Big Seven Conference. Starting in 1948, Oklahoma won 10 straight championships. But Wilkinson's string of 75 straight conference games without a loss ended in Lincoln in 1959 when Bill Jennings' Huskers pulled off a thrilling 25-21 upset. In the 1960s, Nebraska's football fortunes took an upswing under Bob Devaney, who led the Huskers into national prominence. He coached Nebraska until 1973, when he retired, naming his top assistant, Tom Osborne, to replace him. Same year, Oklahoma selected Barry Switzer as its coach. Switzer won 5 straight from Osborne until a Nebraska win this past season. So the stakes are usually high when Oklahoma and Nebraska meet. Throughout history, the Sooners and Cornhuskers have either won or shared 14 of 20 Big Six conference titles, all 10 of the Big Seven championships, and since the Big Eight was formed in 1958, it has been either OU or Nebraska on top for all but 2 of the 21 seasons. And they meet again tonight on NBC in the famed Orange Bowl. The nation's 2 top offenses, Nebraska and Oklahoma. Orange Bowl 79.
NBC Sports presents the College Bowl season, featuring the best in college football postseason action. Today from Miami, Florida, Oklahoma versus Nebraska in the 1979 Orange Bowl. The Orange Bowl is brought to you.
The famed Orange Bowl packed to capacity, nearly 80,000 fans on a warm Florida night to see Oklahoma battle Nebraska, number 4 against number 6, and Oklahoma Sooners still with designs on perhaps a national championship. Happy New Year, everyone. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. It was a great 1978 for us. Looking forward to this year.
Feel the same way, and what a great place to start 1979. Here in the Orange Bowl, a perfect night for football, and 2 great football teams on the field wanting to play football, especially, I think, Oklahoma. They've got a lot to prove, Dick. They stubbed their toe against Nebraska early. They also stubbed their toe here in this game, the Orange Bowl, last year, an upset victory by Arkansas. They've got 2 big reasons to want to win this game. And, of course, Nebraska's a proud team. I think we got a great matchup.
As you know, after Nebraska beat Oklahoma 17-14 in Lincoln on November 11th, they lost to Missouri and lost their own hopes of a national championship. They were down when they heard the news that they would have to play Oklahoma a second time, but Tom Osborne says time has healed, and now the psychology of the Huskers is, hey, a chance to beat Oklahoma twice in a year. No one's had an opportunity for that.
Few teams have managed to beat them once in a year, and this is a great confrontation for the seniors on this team especially. One more shot at their great arch rivals, and I think it's a very exciting opportunity for us to be a part of a special game like this.
And it is special because these are the two top offenses and the two top scoring teams in the entire nation. And one of the reasons the man voted the outstanding football player in the college ranks this year. Number 20 of Oklahoma, Billy Sims. And going back to his high school days, everyone knew Sims from Hooks, Texas, was going to be a great one.
Make me some room, you people up there. On top of the world, I'll meet you, I swear. I'm staking my claim, remember my name. I'm fortune's child. Now, listen, world, you can't ignore me. I've got a song that longs to be played. Raise up my flag, begin my parade. Then once the world over, start coming up closer. That's how it's gonna be. You see, 'cause you're gonna hear from me.
The coveted Heisman Trophy to the remarkable Billy Sims of Oklahoma. Wishbone for Oklahoma tonight. You'll see Nebraska running out of the I formation.
Power I for Nebraska, and of course the wishbone for Oklahoma. One of the knocks against the wishbone is you have to handle the ball so many times at high speed that you tend to drop it a few times. Nebraska, of course, hoping that they could do what they did the last time these two teams met, and that was to force 9 fumbles. A lot of people said Oklahoma left it on the ground. Not true. Nebraska knocked it out of their hands.
Two bitter rivals, Nebraska and Oklahoma. We can expect that kind of hitting again tonight. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the invocation prior to this Orange Bowl game delivered by the Chancellor of the University of Nebraska, Dr. Roy Young.
We are waiting for a signal from NBC. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join in an invocation with Dr. Roy Young, Chancellor of the University of Nebraska, Lincoln.
Will you please rise and remain standing for the national anthem? Will all of you please join me in expressing gratitude for the privilege of participating in this tribute to university football at its finest, as exemplified by the teams and coaches competing here tonight, and by all those who contribute time and energy to the Orange Bowl pageant. May all of those competing in the game tonight perform to the best of their abilities and derive from this game the satisfaction that comes from a truly outstanding effort. May this be a positive experience for all students involved in the Orange Bowl ceremonies and for all those watching. And may good sportsmanship prevail. Amen.
curtain. We're set for the Orange Bowl kickoff. Nebraska meets Oklahoma in just a moment. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen at Miami's Orange Bowl, the 45th renewal of this classic. We see out of the tunnel the Oklahoma Sooners, and here come the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
They got a few bunnies on that team, Dick, but they're still coming out of there. What a perfect night for football. Nebraska was concerned about the wind. Of course, they have a good passing attack. The wind is blowing lightly, but because this stadium is almost fully enclosed, will not be a factor tonight. Oklahoma on the other side of the field, getting ready to come out, was concerned about the rain. They want the footing to be good. They got their wish, too. Both teams playing under ideal circumstances.
Of the Cornhuskers making their way from the dressing room, and now the Oklahoma Sooners. Barry Switzer with his remarkable record, losing only 6 times in 6 years. 61 victories, only 6 defeats. Lost to Tom Osborne for the first time this year. Osborne's Huskers winning in Lincoln 17-14.
Tom Osborne has kind of a youthful appearance over there, Dick. Still looks like he could get out there and play on the field himself.
Nebraska, the home team, and they're bright red. Osborne, a doctorate in his back pocket. Football mastermind following in the steps of the great Bob Devaney.
I think one of the interesting things about this matchup, it matches 2 great teams, but also 2 great athletic programs. And the quality of the coaching, the quality of the administrative people on both sides of the line of scrimmage, as well as the football team, is something to be impressive. No matter where you like to watch your football, these are 2 great programs, 2 great teams.
The captains and the officials meet at midfield, the ceremony of the opening toss of the coin. So let's eavesdrop.
Number 65, Greg Roberts. Number 74, Phil Tabor. Number 85, Darrell Hunt. For Nebraska, number Curley.
Nebraska has won the toss. Oklahoma will kick off right to left. That's the open end of the stadium. They'll have the benefit of what wind there might be in this first quarter. Youthful Barry Switzer, still listed at 38 in the Oklahoma press guide. It's the 3rd straight year he's been 38.
I don't blame him.
He looks it. Thomas Lott with his bandana. He kept that a secret as to which of his more than 100 bandanas he would wear tonight.
No, I got down to the locker room and talked to him before the game. He said, as far as he was concerned, this was the second half of their game against Nebraska. He put on the same bandana he wore in the first game, put on the same jersey, and he said, I think we're going to win the second half. So a lot of confidence from the senior quarterback out of Oklahoma.
Merlin, a lot of people feel, and Oklahoma is nearly a 2-touchdown favorite, that they might marinate the Huskers, that it's an angry team. They feel that they lost the national championship by 3 yards in that fumble at Lincoln, and they'd like to prove a point tonight. What's your feeling?
Well, certainly one of the great tests for Nebraska is stopping that wishbone. But they have a real advantage, Dick. They've played against 2 other wishbone teams this year besides Oklahoma. And because of that, they've had a great deal of time to prepare for the wishbone. I think it's going to make a difference in this game tonight. And I think Nebraska, if they play well defensively, and they can generate some of the power they showed out of their I formation against Oklahoma's defense, can make this not only a great game, but possibly can win it.
Uwe von Schamann, they call him Von Foot And he's been a great one, set a new NCAA record. He's kicked 125 consecutive extra points. Will boot it away to Kenny Brown, 22. Frank Lockett, number 80 for Nebraska. And this 45th Orange Bowl is underway. Good kick. And it will not be returned by Nebraska. Frank Lockett sets it down, and out of the field comes the Nebraska Cornhusker offense with quarterback Tom Sorley. And there they are. Andre Franklin, the blocking back at fullback, the I back or tailback in that I formation. Rick Burns, he'll be teaming up with I.M. Hip at that position, and the wingback Kenny Brown. Junior Miller, the tight end, and they like to go to that big tight end target. He's 6'4", and Frank Lockett, the split end. Brown wing right, Lockett split left. Burns up the middle for 5. And Merlin, that may be just where they want to attack.
They're going to go right up the middle if they can. That's what they did in their earlier game. And let's look at the offensive line that's going to be trying to blow those holes. All-American Kelvin Clark, Barney Cotton, Kelly Salfeld, Steve Lindquist, a very fine senior guard, and Tom Ort.
And they're big. The lightest man in that interior 5 is 248 pounds. Miller shifting right, and Brown comes in tight on the left side. Burns again. The long-legged I-back out to the 29, where it'll be 3rd down and 1. Burns 6'2" and 210, running against this Oklahoma defense.
And quick they are. That's the word to describe people like Reggie Mathis, John Goodman, Reggie Kinlaw on the nose, Phil Tabor, senior right tackle, and Bruce Payton, small right end. George Cumbie and Darrell Hunter, the linebackers. Cumbie can run a 4.45. I think he's the fastest linebacker I've ever heard of.
It's like a track team from Norman, Oklahoma. 3rd and 1. And Burns goes the other way. 1st down. Burns needed 1 and picks up 11. And the first down of the game before Kinlaw and Babb can collaborate on the tackle.
From the end zone, let's look at that play. Big 1st down play. Sorley giving it off to Burns, his eye back. Burns cuts it back underneath, gets away from Hunt. Cumbie right there, runs out of the tackle. Some powerful running. What a great year he's had.
Great blocks by 54 Cotton and 39 Franklin for Nebraska. Burns, that looked like a misfire. He appeared to want to pitch it wide, and Burns was only a step away. Reggie Kinlaw was there too.
Defensive back for Oklahoma, Basil Banks, Jay Jimmerson at the corners, Darrell Ray, and Mike Babb. That play, by the way, is one of their favorites. They pitch it outside, make it look like they're going to go outside, and then cut back against the grain. But one of the things that happens to you, if you get that quick backside pursuit, they can shut you down, Dick.
Holding by the Cornhuskers.
First penalty of the game, and it's going to be a big one against Nebraska for holding.
That's one of the things we're going to have to get used to is those 15-yard holding penalties. In the pro game, of course, that's a 10-yard penalty. But it really shuts you down in a college game because you've got a 1st and 25, and that's a hard piece of real estate to gain back.
So Tom Sorley, number 12, the quarterback from Big Spring, Texas, may be forced to go to the air. Looking to throw, has a man open, Miller. Down at the 47-yard line, 1st down, Nebraska.
Tom Sorley loves to go to Junior Miller. What an athlete he is. Watch him now. Sorley running outside. Miller knows he's going to get a pass here. Watch the concentration. Ducks back underneath. Darrell Ray makes a superb catch. Marks down where his knee touched the ground. Junior Miller made up the 25 and then some.
28-yard pass play. Nebraska and Oklahoma territory. Burns to the 41, and at least on this first possession, Nebraska's offensive line is beating Oklahoma to the punch.
Now, this game was described as speed against strength, and right now, strength seems to be winning down in the pit.
Rick Burns, 933 yards, finished just 3 yards behind I.M. Hip, the other I-back. Burns, the career leader in rushing in Nebraska history. short of the first down, tackled at the 38-yard line. Check the penalty. Referee Ken Faulkner says offside Nebraska. And all Southwest Conference crew, Ken Faulkner, Marvin Durenberger, W.C. Coleman, Mike Wetzel, J.D. Rowland, and Tim Hatch. 147 years of officiating experience, the Zebras tonight.
Well, we have one from the Southeast Conference. Our timekeeper is from the Southeast Conference, and he's the only one. They try and bring neutral officials in. They've done this. This is the 4th year. I think a wise decision on the part of the commissioners of the various conferences. On that last play, Dick, you get the call here of offside. Oklahoma's blitzing, and they brought a defensive back up, and I think whoever was responsible for him was getting a little itchy in there and tried to get a jump. Got out a little too quick.
Mike Babb has moved to a corner for Oklahoma. Sherwood Taylor, injured earlier in the year, is now playing at strong safety. On second, Sorley to throw. Junior Miller, and flags all over the field. Incomplete. Penalty in the defensive secondary and also in the backfield of Nebraska.
Yeah, it looks like one of them might be for roughing the passer.
Negating penalty.
And we'll go back and start it over again. It's going to be 2nd and 9 again. The Oklahoma team is adding an extra linebacker in there, going with 3 defensive backs as they did on that last play, trying to get almost a goal line type situation in there to stop the running attack of the Cornhuskers.
Nebraska had an ineligible man downfield.
Now they've got their 4 defensive backs in. It's back to a normal set.
And it's still 2nd and 8. Burns greeted and still fights forward for a couple of yards. Number 72, John Goodman from Garland, Texas. The left tackle made the first contact. Could not bring down Burns.
Burns running very hard. Took Goodman's helmet right in his chest and kept on going. He is one tough kid.
3rd down, 6. Congratulations to Bear Bryant's Alabama team, knocking off the top-rated and the last unbeaten college team, Penn State, 14-7. How about Notre Dame rallying from 34-12 to win 35-34 in the Cotton Bowl? And as you saw on NBC, USC 17, Michigan 10. Oklahoma offside. Charlie will go through the play. Knocked down by number 31, Sherwood Taylor. Now we'll check the penalty flag. And there's an injured Husker on the field. Reggie Mathis, 58, was the man pressuring sorely. And getting up slowly is Rick Burns. Offside Mathis. From Chattanooga, Tennessee. Tied with Phil Tabor and Darrell Hunt for most tackles behind the line of scrimmage this year.
That's going to be very close to a first down. In fact, they're going over to measure it off, I believe, on the sticks to see if it would indeed be a first down. But that's a big penalty. 3rd and 5 in a situation where the pass was incomplete. They still managed to get now in a situation where it's either going to be a first down or very close to it.
And Merlin, for the first time, we see number 32, I.M. Hip, in the backfield, Nebraska. A storied athlete from Chapin, South Carolina. A walk-on, one of the many walk-on athletes on this Nebraska team. And won the hearts of many underdogs around the country with his play last year at Nebraska.
And they've also put in number 95, Johnny Lewis, Oklahoma has. They're going into what they call their mad dog defense, short yardage defense. They'll have 4 down linemen, 2 middle guards in there at the same time.
3rd and less than 1. And Charlie sneaks it, and that'll give you an idea of the tremendous offensive charge to the middle of that Nebraska line. Caulfield 57, Cotton 54, and Lindquist 68, and they just pushed Nebraska back. Payton and Hunt made the stop.
It's about as physical a line as you'll find at the college level. Look at him. Look at Lindquist, 68. He's just pushing him back. Sorley just kind of got in there and went along with his surge and found himself a first down.
That's almost like a quarterback surf. You just get in there and just plow behind that line. Sorley on the option. And Hip tackled at the 30-yard line after a a 4-yard gain. Nebraska's taken the opening kickoff and has marched to the Oklahoma 30. They've used already 4 minutes and 15 seconds and have a 2nd and 6.
Steve Lindquist, one of the fine guards on this Nebraska team, was right on Reggie Kinlaw, number 62. Watch it right there as he slips inside, gets position on him, and then will not let him get out to use his great lateral speed.
As you may notice, number 68 Lindquist, a congenital deformity. Right hand, hip, cartwheeling forward for a yard or two. Barry Dittman, number 38, made the hit.
Barry Dittman, by the way, is the 4th linebacker. Oklahoma, which doesn't usually try too many tricks defensively, putting some different lineups against this Nebraska team to try and shut them down. 4 defensive linemen. Now they've got 4 linebackers. Barry Dittman, an extra linebacker, inserted into that lineup, made the play.
Tom Sorley wants a timeout. We'll visit with head coach Tom Osborne facing 3rd and 5 at the 29 of Oklahoma. The Orange Bowl resumes in Miami, Florida, right after we pause for this word. The Orange Bowl in Miami. It all began this classic in 1933 when they called it the Palm Festival. It was 33 and 34, and then the first Orange Bowl in 1935. Nebraska, Oklahoma in 79, and it's 3rd and 5 for the Huskers at the OU 29. Surprise, they give it to Franklin, the fullback, who doesn't carry that much, and he's shy of the first down by a yard and a half. Phil Tabor, 74. He and his twin brother, Paul, members of this great Oklahoma team, made the tackle.
Number 22, Kenny Brown, comes in with a play from the sideline. Tom Osborne calls all the plays himself, shuffles them in with his split end.
Well, they're going to go for it. 4th and a long yard. Ball handling by Tom Sorley. It appeared that he'd given it to his eye back, and watch this fake.
Tom Sorley fooling most everyone in the park. Watch the little end around as he fakes it back into the line, then options it out, flips it out to number 22, Kenny Brown, and Kenny easily goes by the Oklahoma defenders for the first down. Smart call. Good play.
So they had Oklahoma looking for the inside power. They faked the power and gave it to Brown for the first down. This is the 12th play of this Nebraska opening drive. Sorley, they took away his pitch man. He had to eat it for a loss. Back at the 22 is Daryl Hunt, number 85 from Odessa, Texas. The top Oklahoma tackler on the year made the stop.
Let's watch him in action. Daryl Hunt, certainly one of the players on this team the pros are very excited about. Watch the lateral move here. Reads the play, slides with Sorley, and just comes up and wrestles him to the ground, forcing him to lose a yard on the play. He's a fine athlete.
Rick Burns has come back into the Nebraska backfield for I.M. Hip on 2nd and 11. Sorley off play action. Intercepted by Barry Dittman, 38, a senior from Houston, Texas. Goodman and Tabor applying the pressure on Sorley.
Again, they had the 4 linebackers in there. Barry Dittman going in. They get great pressure here on Sorley. And Sorley almost made a critical mistake. Almost threw it away. Flipped it out as he was going down. Right there. Dittman getting a hand on it. Unable to control it. 3rd and 11.
Wide right is Tim Smith. Miller, the tight end on the left side. Sorley rolling and going long. Open is Miller. Touchdown, Nebraska. Tim Smith, number 84. A junior from Chula Vista, California.
What a great play by Tim Smith as he beat Gary Lowell down the sideline. Give you a chance to see it. Sorley throwing it deep, and Smith has to go up, turn all the way around at 17. Basil Banks, actually, the defender that was on him right there. But a great catch, able to get 1 foot down.
Billy Todd, whose field goal beat Oklahoma, and Lincoln boots home the extra point. And a very impressive opening drive by Nebraska. The underdog Huskers use over 7 minutes to score the first touchdown of the game. Tim Smith his second touchdown catch of the year. Opens this Orange Bowl scoring. The top two scoring teams in the nation, and Nebraska on the board first 7-0. Billy Todd to kick it off. Jimmy Rogers, 34. No, it's up to the short man. And out of bounds for Oklahoma goes number 43, Vicky Ray Anderson. Let's go back to that touchdown. You'll see some great footwork by Smith, who got 1 foot down.
Oklahoma's only been behind twice this year, once in Nebraska and once as a result of this touchdown pass, Tom Osborne to Tim Smith. Great leaping grab. Gets actually both feet down in the end zone, even though college rules say only has to touch 1 foot in to mark it up for a touchdown.
So the Sooners put their wishbone in action from their own 29-yard line. Thomas Lott, the quarterback. Sims hit Overstreet, and a flag. While we're waiting for the penalty call, the offense for Oklahoma. Thomas Lott, he's a quarterback, but everyone feels, and as it is in the wishbone, he is a running back. Kenny King has the best average of that starting 4. Billy Sims, the Heisman winner, and David Overstreet, the other halfback. With Victor Hicks, a giant tight end, 6'3" and 254, and Bobby Kimball, the split end.
Louis Obrey is the left tackle. Paul Tabor, the other brother, at left guard. Jody Farthing, we've got a story about him later on. Came back this spring after this fall, after quitting last spring, and has become a valuable addition in his senior year. Greg Roberts, of course, won the Outland Award, and Sam Clappin. Sammy Jack over there on the right-hand side.
A legal procedure, both sides, the penalty, so it's 1st and 10. They break the wishbone. And give it to Sims out to the 33-yard line. Sims, who averaged 7.6 yards a carry on the year, scored 20 touchdowns to lead the nation. Jeff Hansen, 48 from the secondary, made the tackle at 2nd and 6. The defense for Nebraska.
Excuse me, the defense, Dick, sure has a tough job out there stopping the wishbone. Lawrence Cole, Rod Horn, Kenny Weinmaster at the nose, Dan Pensick, George Andrews, probably the best defensive player at the strong end position.
In motion comes Overstreet. That's Lott on the option. Close to a 1st down at the 38-yard line before Jim Pillen and Jeff Hansen can make the stop. It'll be 3rd and 1 for Oklahoma.
Well, those Outland Award winners not only have to run the ball, Dick, they have to block sometimes. And that was Sims blocking on number 96, George Andrews. Made that play a winner, got him down to 3rd at very short yardage.
96 Andrews, an All-American himself, and here's Sims throwing the block on him.
Right on his heels, right there.
One grade after another. Try to be close for the 1st down as Sims diving right over the middle of the line. Pensick on Horn on the stop.
Sims dove one way, his helmet went the other.
We'll have an official measurement. Linebackers for Nebraska are Dunning and Coons. Coons, a great all-around athlete.
Defensive back Tim Fisher, whose cousin Pat, whose uncle Pat actually played for the Washington Redskins for many years. Andy Means got a tough job today. He's going to be one-on-one on the split end for Nebraska, or for Oklahoma all day. Russell Gary and Jim Pillen. Pillen, by the way, is the monster man. You'll see him all over the field. Right now, you're going to see a punter on the field as Oklahoma failed to make the necessary yardage.
And a light rain begins to fall in the Orange Bowl, and of course Nebraska could have prayed for that, hoping to slow down some of that Oklahoma speed. So the black shirt defense holds Oklahoma, and the kick by Ray. Taken. 28 is Dave Legal, and the law of Oklahoma brings him down. Now Nebraska scores on Oklahoma, a team that gave up only 14 points in the first quarter all year. Huskers 7, Sooners nothing. The Oilers and the Steelers, the rubber game, each team winning at the other's home field, and that one to decide who goes to the Super Bowl. Kurt Gowdy, John Brody, Merlin Olsen will be there to call it for you.
Better order up some extra ambulances for that one, if it's anything like the last shootout down in Houston.
Nebraska leading 7-0. Ball at the 25 of the Huskers. 6:49 left first quarter. Complete 22 Kenny Brown, a junior from Cincinnati, Ohio, who caught 23 passes during the regular season, and it's a short gain of about 5.
Coming right at you at ground level from Tom Sorley to number 22, Brown. Watch it right here. They backed off of him, gave him a little room, and Kenny just turned back and took a quick pass, picked up a nice gain on it. It'll be second and about 4.5, almost 5 yards to go.
I.M. Hip and Rick Burns are in the game at the same time. So two I-backs stacked up behind Sorley. That's Brown in motion. Give it to Hip. And they corral him at the 33-yard line. John Goodman, 72, the first man to make contact.
In the middle of that line, Kelly Stallfeld at center is working on Reggie Kinlaw, All-American nose tackle, nose guard for the Oklahoma team, and just did a beautiful job of blowing him off the ball, keeping him out of that play. However, he couldn't keep the rest of them out of there. Here's a chance for you to see it at home. Watch Stallfeld get good position on Kinlaw and then work into him. That's a great blocking technique right there. Some fine play by the veteran center for the Sooners, or for the Cornhuskers. Keep him on the right side right there.
Sorley doesn't like the call as he looks at that Oklahoma defense, and Nebraska spends its second timeout already in this first quarter. 5 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Oh, a spectacular halftime show as always in the Orange Bowl. So especially those of you adults watching, the kids may be in the other room, tell them to stick around. They're going to really love a halftime spectacular here in the Orange Bowl. And we have some interesting flashbacks, some Orange Bowl scrapbook shots, some of the great stars of the past, and also hopefully some of the longest games in the history of the Orange Bowl. And speaking of highlights, coming up in 2 weeks, first edition of 1979 Sports World on NBC. You'll see some outstanding gymnastics competition from Wembley, England, and also the Muhammad Ali Invitational Track and Field Championship from Long Beach, California, plus some special Crazy World of Sports. That's January 14th, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Barry Switzer has to be a bit concerned, Merlin Olsen, that his Oklahoma team that has been so tough in the first quarter defensively has already given up a score.
Well, as I said earlier, they've only been behind twice during the year. Once in the game they lost at Lincoln, and here tonight in the first quarter of this one. That does not speak well for the defense.
Nebraska with 100 yards already. 3rd and 2. Nebraska fans thought that I.M. Hip had the ball, but it was the fake, and the toss to Miller incomplete, and Nebraska's Tim Smith will come on to punt it away.
Well, they knew who had the ball down on the field, and Oklahoma was not only on top of Tom Sorley, but they were also on top of Junior Miller. Ball thrown too high. I think Miller could have caught that one and tucked it away. Had it come in a little bit lower, he was open. They can't give that big tight end that much room.
Freddie Nixon, number 11, deep to return the kick by Smith. No pressure. End over end. Nixon fair catch at the 30. The Orange Bowl scrapbook. You're going to enjoy some familiar faces going back to their college years. These great athletes who starred in the Orange Bowl.
When I was young, there were so many songs that waited to be sung. So many wild places.
Some of my friends in there, Dick.
In store for me.
I'd like to see your high school college graduation picture.
Tommy noticed he looked too sweet there.
I can't wait. Well, here's David a couple of years later. Hair's starting to grow.
Get ready to go to New York.
Can you believe that kid, Stabler?
No. Where are the whiskers? Where are they? Kenny Stabler, the snake.
Another great running back.
He looks tough. He looks tough even there. And Franco hasn't changed much. Just filled in the beard a little bit. We'll see him in action in that great matchup, Pittsburgh-Houston.
Bert Jones. That could have been his high school picture.
Maybe it is. Let's say so.
Hey, that was fun. That was fun. Great stars all played in this Orange Bowl Classic. Oklahoma trailing 7-0, and again they break up the bone and give it to Sims. Look at him refusing to go down after 18 yards. Billy Sims.
When you've got a whole backfield full of people who can run 4.5, 4.600, all you got to do is isolate them, get somebody to miss a tackle, and you're in deep trouble. Sims runs through not one, but about 6 of the Nebraska Cornhuskers before they finally get him down. He almost got to the 50-yard line.
Out of the wishbone, give it to King, the first option, and he plows all the way to the Nebraska 45, a gain of 8. Coons and Cole made the tackle.
The first option, which is to that man who leads the other two, the big fullback, Kenny King, is the most crucial to stop defensively. And on that particular play, it looked like there was no option call. They just handed it to Kenny King and said, go get him. And he just drove it on down there.
You saw the 7.9-yard average flashing. That's the best of the Oklahoma backs. First down for Sims at the 40 of the Huskers. So with 4:25 left in the first quarter, trailing 7-0, Oklahoma generates some offense.
The first game at Lincoln, talking to Galen Hall, he said that he felt that they ran too much to the split end side. They were going to go back and try and take advantage of the strength of their tight end.
Kimball split to the right. Andy Means will play him one-on-one throughout the game. Again, give it to the fullback, and King, the senior from Clarendon, Texas, who has the longest run by a Sooner this year, 74 yards against Colorado, picks up about 3. The old Boomer Sooner, and they brought the Boomer with them.
On that particular play, Nick, they had the split end over on the same side as the tight end, moved up on the line. This makes their tight end an ineligible receiver. But they're trying to check the reaction of the Nebraska team.
Sims hit first by Lee Coons, number 38, finished off by Horn and Pensick, the 2 tackles, as he gets to the 34, Nebraska, and brings up a 3rd down and 4. Coons is quite an athlete. You see him, number 38, from Golden, Colorado, an engineering major. Many feel if he wanted to, he could have been an outstanding decathlon athlete. He's won the Big 8 Discus Championship with a throw just under 200 feet this year. Third and 5, King in motion, give it to Sims. First down at the 24, and the Sooners are on their feet. Great block by Kenny King to get going with that one, and what a tremendous run. Tim Fisher's not the biggest guy in the world. You see right there, they're flying him outside. Sims just breaks the corner, gets downfield, runs right over Tim Fisher, number 16. Wow, that hurts way up here. And Jeff Hansen finished him off. First down, Oklahoma at the 24. Greg Forrest-Ballora, 82, tight end inside on the left side. David Overstreet, a sophomore from Big Sandy, Texas. Well, his helmet went a-flying, 5'11" and 192. It's interesting, the sizes of the 4 starting backs, Lott, King, Sims, and Overstreet, almost out of the same mold. They're all about 5'11" and all about 200 pounds. And they all seem capable of taking a shot. Watch right here, the helmet just flies off Overstreet's head, but he doesn't stop until he's gained about 6 yards. 2nd and 4. Sims to the 15-yard line, close to a first down. Kerry Weinmaster, the middle guard, made the stop as we pause briefly for station identification. From Miami, this is the NBC Television Network. The Orange Bowl, Miami, a minute and a half left in the first quarter. 7-0 Nebraska. But Oklahoma on a drive. They're at the 15 of the Huskers, 3rd and 1. Come on, Sims diving for a first down at the 13-yard line. Greg Roberts, the Outland Trophy winner, top lineman in America, and Sam Clapton, the full-blooded Cherokee, number 63, the right tackle, led Sims, and Sims leaping over that wall for a first down. That's kind of an interesting play for this Oklahoma team. They lined up in the wishbone, but they just ran a power play, both backs diving up in there, and Sims following him in, diving for the first down. Sims with 42 yards in this first quarter. Lots of King. Look at that leg power of King as he's to the 7-yard line. Lawrence Cole, 81 on the tip for Nebraska. And this time it was Louis Oubre, 66, the left tackle, and Paul Tabor, 73, the left guard, opening the hole. I talked to Lance Van Zandt, the defensive coordinator for Nebraska, and he said as much as we appreciate Sims' talent, Kenny King is almost a tougher back for us to handle. High formation. They're giving Nebraska some of their own medicine here. 2nd and a long 3. Sims close to a first down at the 4-yard line. Jeff Hansen up from a safety spot to make the hit. Paul Tabor. We told you about his identical twin brother, Phil, number 74 on defense. Paul Tabor leading the way for Sims. Going to be close, but not close enough for a measurement. Third and call it 1. And Nebraska was number 2 in the nation in scoring. Nebraska, the number 1 offensive team in yardage. Oklahoma, number 2.
Play being shuttled in by number 11, Freddie Nixon. Plays called up here from the box by Galen Hall, the offensive coordinator.
Sims, it appeared Nebraska was offside. Someone on the defensive left side of the red-shirted line seemed to pop offside.
Give you a chance to see it. Watch the far side over there. You see the Nebraska defensive left end starting across just too quickly, and Jody Farthing, number 53, did what a smart center always does. Snaps the ball. Caught him.
So the position of Farthing is he snapped the ball almost as if he's being shot ahead, just level to the ground to throw his block.
His story is a good one. He was a fifth-quarter senior, was not going to play until Paul Tabor broke his hand, had to come back and finish the season. Actually came back and did a great job, allowed him to put Tabor at guard.
First and goal. Billy Sims. Touchdown. The 21st time this year that Sims has scored. Bobby Kimball, 21, was split in through a key block.
It's been a great year for Billy Sims, and how much he would like to finish it off here tonight with a big performance against the arch-rivals Nebraska, and here in the Orange Bowl where Oklahoma had such troubles last year against Arkansas.
So 2 long drives, 13 plays for Oklahoma. The kick is good. And we have a tie game. As you see Sims score, Von Schaman has kicked the extra point, and with 7 seconds left in the first quarter, oh, that's a rash of 7s up there. Nebraska has 7, the Sooners have 7, and so does the official timekeeper.
Back quickly to look at Sims as he trotted into that end zone. What a great play. Watch it now as they option off. First option there to King. Flips it out to Sims, who just uses his great speed and a little bit of a move there at the end. Goes past the fine block on the outside by Kimball and waltzes into the end zone.
Now Oklahoma will kick it off to Nebraska. 7-7 as we come to the close of this first quarter. 69 yards for the Sooners. Nebraska used 14 plays and driving 80 yards for their touchdown.
Watching Von Schaman warm up, terribly impressed with the strength of his leg, Dick. He was kicking those field goals from beyond 50 yards, and his kickoff, the first one, sailed 5 yards into the end zone. Let's see what he does with this one.
And you'll notice he's kicking off from about the 39.5. That's because otherwise he'd be offside when he kicks it. Very deep. Lockett will kneel and take the touchback at the 20. So with 7 seconds left, no time expiring on the kick, it's Nebraska from the Husker 20-yard line.
Well, the Sooners have answered the opening 7 points to the Cornhuskers. Now let's see what Nebraska's offensive team can do. Interesting on that drive, they spent quite a bit of time out of the wishbone, throwing some wrinkles tonight at Nebraska. Some I formation, some motion. Galen Hall and Barry Switzer decided they're not just going to get out there and run out of that wishbone tonight.
Lockett, number 80, to the right. Junior Miller, the tight end, on the right side, and Jeff Flynn, another tight end, anchors the line on the left side. I.M. Hip to the 24 as the first quarter comes to an end here in Miami, Florida. 45th Orange Bowl Classic is tied at 7. We'll have a second quarter of action after these messages from your local station. Miami's Orange Bowl, Chuck LeBeau, the pilot. Al Camone shooting those great pictures from overhead. We open the second quarter. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen, wishing you a happy new year, 1979, from the Orange Bowl, a 7-7 tie. 2nd and 6, Nebraska. Hip. Diving to the 26, maybe the 27. Barry Dittman, 38. Catching him in midair.
One of the most difficult things to do against this Oklahoma defense is to get outside. They have such great team speed and such great pursuit. that you just have a hard time outrunning them. You get out to that corner, and there are 3 or 4 of them out there waiting for you.
We should comment, while it appeared in taking the long shot of the blimp that it was raining very hard, it is not. It's a light rain falling. Blitz is on. Charlie has a man open, and is caught by an Oklahoma. It's Barry Switzer. Switzer makes the reception on the sidelines. He was going to make doggone sure a Nebraska man didn't catch it.
Maybe he is 38. You see the way he handled that ball?
Switzer, who graduated from the University of Arkansas. 59.
They like to work the Junior Miller inside, but they also like to work down the sideline. And they just threw that one a little bit wide, a little bit behind the receiver. Otherwise, they might have had something going.
Darrell Ray and Freddie Nixon are deep. Smith, a wobbly kick. Ray, fair catch, fumble, and falls on it at the 34. Now, Oklahoma has the football early in the second quarter. Less than a minute gone in the second period. The Huskers 7, the Sooners 7. 7 tie early in the second quarter as Tom Osborne talks to that offensive line. Ball at the 34 of the Sooners as Thomas Lott moves under center. Jody Farthing. And through it, he has a man wide open. And out of nowhere, Tim Fisher racing cross field and knock it away from Bobby Kimball. Tim Fisher, one of 8 Fishers to play at the University of Nebraska.
Watch Lott now. Little fake on the backside on the option, drops back, and very uncharacteristically goes deep. Kimball down there, ball slightly underthrown, and Fisher did a great job of sprinting to that football and knocking it away.
Well, I told you Tim's uncle, Pat Fisher, all-pro, Brett Skins, and others. And Tim's father, Cletus, is the offensive line coach for Nebraska.
Oklahoma's first pass in this game. They only threw 2 passes in the other game that they played against Nebraska.
Not much there for Mr. Billy Sims, who follows Greg Pruitt, Joe Washington, Elvis Peacock, Horace Ivory. Oh, the Oklahoma Sooners have had some great running backs. Golf. And we've just given you a marvelous weekend. I know you enjoyed the basketball action, Notre Dame, Kentucky, and all the football activity, and now the Bob Hope Desert Classic. What a way to begin the golfing year. That's the 13th and 14th, 2 weeks hence, from the beautiful desert area, Palm Springs, Palm Desert.
I believe our good friend John Brody and Arnold Palmer will be co-hosting there.
Third down, Lott wants to throw. May have fumbled. No, he hangs on to it and fights forward to the 35-yard line. Shows you the leg power of Lott. He took 3 or 4 shots from those big defensive linemen for the Huskers, stayed on his feet. Short of the first down, it'll be 4th down and 10.
George Andrews in from the backside for the Cornhuskers. Went right over the top of Lott. Lott looked like Tarkington as he ducked underneath and then just tried to mold his way out of there. They finally got him on the ground. Darrell Ray is going to kick it away for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Lockett and Brown are deep for Nebraska. High. No fair catch. And the Sooners surrounded at the 31-yard line of Nebraska. 12.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Switzer Sooners 7, Osborne Huskers 7. Great shot, because at halftime, folks, you're going to see the Spectacular of Lights Disco. Don't go away. Very special show at the intermission. One of the spectaculars of this Orange Bowl. First down, Nebraska, 7-7 tie, 12.5 minutes remaining first half. Ball at the 31. Sorley keeps it himself and gets out near the 40-yard line before Phil Tabor can track him down. Sorley doesn't run all that much, saw the opening and took the yardage. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
Very strange-looking play.
Other scores in the Cotton. Houston was ahead 34-12, and Dan Devine's Irish came from behind to win in the final seconds, 35-34. Great defensive battle in the Sugar Bowl. Alabama wins at 14-7. And you saw another fine defensive struggle as USC, in controversy, beat Michigan 17-10. Up the middle, Rick Burns has that high leg style of Calvin Hill, the great Yale University star, still playing well in the NFL.
He certainly does, and boy, he knows how to go after that extra piece of yardage. Hits that hole so quickly. He's about a 4'6", 4'5" back himself, Looks like he's got some Filipino or Indian blood. What does he have?
Mother Filipino. And Rick, of course, playing with a heavy heart all season long. His mother passed away just at the start of the season. First down, Nebraska. On a little counter, Andre Franklin from Anniston, Alabama. 4.6 speed and a whale of a blocker, picks up 3. We saw the scores of other games, Merlin. I think it's more than appropriate that we comment on who's going to be number 1. Alabama beats Penn State, so Penn State no longer undefeated. But USC, winning again today, beat Alabama at Alabama earlier this year, and Oklahoma only 3 yards away from an unbeaten year.
Well, I think we have to give Oklahoma a chance to see what they do in this one, and then maybe we can talk seriously about it toward the end of the game.
Brown left, Lockett right, Sorley a pump, and he has a man open, but overshoots him along the sidelines. It was Lockett. Darrell Hunt applying pressure on Sorley.
Hunt coming in on a blitz, number 85. Watch him. Steps up, drives right up the middle here. Thought the first pump was going to be it and continued on in to take Sorley to the ground. Certainly the pressure making him throw the ball a little too deep. The receiver had no chance at it.
Two-time All-American Darrell Hunt. Now third down 7. Sorley is 3 out of 7 now, 54 yards. Rolling, trying to hit, and does hit. Tim Smith, the touchdown maker of the Huskers, gets Nebraska to the Oklahoma 33.
Sorley doing a great job of staying on his receiver and then throwing the ball in a place where it couldn't be intercepted, but where Tim Smith could reach back, corral that football, pick up a very big first down.
Smith was the number 3 receiver for the Cornhuskers with 19 on the season. 2 big ones in this one tonight. Sorley still on his feet. That's up for grabs. Batted away by Darrell Ray, number 3. A fine play by Ray. Basil Banks didn't know where the ball was.
And I think they've called a penalty on number 58, Reggie Mathis, as he continued in on Sorley after that ball was thrown. You see some very concerned Oklahoma Sooners there. Yes, indeed, they called roughing the passer. Personal foul, 15 yards. That'll march that ball all the way down to about the 17-yard line.
Now that brings a roar from the Nebraska fans across the way. Sometimes it appears those officials walk forever, doesn't it?
Those 15-yarders really do hurt you. Here's what the penalty was for. If you watch Reggie Mathis go in right at the end of the play, Sorley running away now. Ball clearly gone. Just to the right side of your picture. We could see it up here. I'm sorry we couldn't show it to you at home.
From the 17-yard line, a reverse. Lockett gets a block, but a flag is down. And Lockett knocked out of bounds at around the 11-yard line, but they're going to call a clip against Nebraska as one of the lead blockers peeling back to help out Lockett did not get his head in front of the Oklahoma defender.
Well, there it is right there, and the 2 penalties canceling each other out. The big difference, however, is that particular penalty, as you watch the play develop here, watch Lockett streaking to the outside, just on the left side of your picture, 58 right there. The man who had committed the foul earlier, he was the man clipped on that play. The ball will be marched back now, and it's going to be first and about 25 yards to go.
It'll be exactly at the point where Mathis picked up the roughing call at the 33 of Oklahoma. 10 minutes and 46 seconds left in this first half.
I wonder if Mathis feels any better about that now. I'm sure he didn't enjoy being clipped, but at least the ball moves back. There's a man who's not very happy about it. Osborne, very upset. He doesn't get animated very easily. He's got something going down there.
Actually, the penalty marked off from the spot of the foul, which was behind the line of scrimmage. So it's a 23-yard penalty. First down, 33 to go for Nebraska.
Even more costly.
Sorley hands it off to Andre Franklin. And the big fullback gets to the 36-yard line, a gain of 4.
Trying to sneak Franklin through the line on an obvious passing situation. The Oklahoma defense just wouldn't bite, shut him down quickly. One of the differences between these two teams is that Nebraska does have a relatively sound passing attack. Oklahoma throws the ball very little and has not had great success throwing the football.
Second and long for Nebraska. 36 of Oklahoma. Sorley, great protection, dumps it off to Franklin. And he's down at the 28 of Oklahoma. Hit down by Darrell Hunt, number 85, making tackle after tackle.
Again on the tackle.
Cumbie over there, too. The two linebackers showing you some great speed as they caught up with Franklin. Smart play, though. They stretched everybody out, making it look like they were going to go deep. And then threw underneath to the back. Andre Franklin coming out. By the way, Tom Sorley is 5 for 10 now and 83 yards passing here in the first half.
3rd and 20. Incomplete, intended for Rick Burns along the sidelines. And for a long field goal try, in comes Billy Todd, the senior from Chandler, Arizona. His longest of this year is 48 yards, longest ever 55. This one will be spotted from around the 33, a 43-yard attempt. That's going to be longer than that. 44-yard attempt by the left footer, Billy Todd. Up and over. Just missed to the right. Well, it remains deadlocked here in Miami. Orange Bowl 79 with 9 minutes left in the half. Tied at 7. Monday, January 14th, 3 o'clock Eastern Time here on NBC as we start a whole new year and some exciting sports events for you as we get ourselves ready for 1980 and the Olympics in Moscow. Kenny King. And it takes more than half of the Nebraska team to bring him down. He fumbled. Was it after the whistle? It was. At the 34-yard line. Thus far, no fumbles in the game. 9 times Oklahoma fumbled in the first Nebraska contest.
If you want to know how hard it is to get Billy Sims to the ground, watch 29. Jim Pillen, the monster man, gets a hold of him here, tries to get him down, keeps him hanging there. Now they're going after the football. That's Kenny King, the big fullback, even tougher to get down than Sims.
There's Sims, and he's across the 40 for a first down. While in Miami, the Oklahoma and the Nebraska teams visited the nuclear destroyer, and they were all startled when the captain announced, "Welcome to the USS Sims." It's S-E-M-M-E-S, but the Nebraska team wanted to leave right then. They even named a nuclear destroyer after him, and he's only a junior. King in motion, and Sims on the toss. Good read by Nebraska. George Andrews, the All-American defensive end, number 96, played it beautifully.
Talking to the Oklahoma coaches, they're very impressed with the strength of George Andrews and his playing ability. The defensive captain for the Cornhuskers just had a great year. Got out there very quickly and made a great open field tackle. If you can't tackle in the open field, you don't have a chance against Oklahoma.
Well, that's for certain. Second and a long 9. Kenny King trying the left side of the line. Gets short yardage to the 44, and that'll be 3rd down and 6.
For most teams, the 3rd and 6 is a passing situation. But the Sooners are so confident in their offensive setup that that's still a running situation for them very often. They're not afraid to go with their wishbone or go with one of their running plays in this kind of a situation.
You saw Oklahoma 6-3. Nebraska is 4-2 in the Orange Bowl. Break the wishbone and send Overstreet wide right on 3rd and 6. Sims, look at him fly all the way to the 41 of Nebraska. A great block by 65 Greg Roberts to clear the way.
Now you've got the Heisman Trophy winner running behind the block of Greg Roberts, 65. Look at it right there. Great job. Now watch Sims in the open field. That's Pillin, the monster man, finally gets him by the shoestring, but not until he's gained that first down. What a great run. Another quick look at it right. Ooh, look at that block on Tim Fisher. Oh, that hurts up here.
That is a definite mismatch. King, now it's Lott, wants to throw, and he's got Rhodes right open. Steve Rhodes all the way to the 3-yard line. First and goal, Oklahoma. 48, Jeff Hansen saved the touchdown.
They've isolated number 24, Rhodes. He's one-on-one on Andy Meade. And Meade falls down. Rhodes ends up being all alone. You see how much room he has there. Catches the football. And that's Jeff Hansen doing a good job of reacting. But that was actually Andy Meade's man, and he got away from it.
Steve Rhodes from Dallas, Texas. Shoulder injury against the Longhorns in the Texas game, and he was out until the Sooners played at Nebraska. Lott, touchdown. Senior Thomas Lott from San Antonio, Texas, puts Oklahoma in front for the first time, 13-7.
What an explosive team these Oklahoma Sooners are. You watch Lott, he had the choice of the option if he wanted it, but just like the running back he is, he said, hey, I can take this on in myself, and I don't have to worry about throwing the ball at all.
He knows the way. That's the 10th touchdown of the year for Lott. Von Schaumer's extra point try. Good. 14-7, Oklahoma leads.
Some people say that Lott is not a good passer. The Oklahoma coaches say, hey, Lott will surprise you with his passing ability. He can throw that pill. Watch him here. Not a perfect pass. Not a perfect spiral. But by golly, it's on target, and it's close to a touchdown. Lott was able to go down, and in one play, did the rest of it.
You golfers won't miss that. 2 weeks from now, Bob Hope Desert Classic here on NBC. Now, Thomas Lott caps a 73-yard touchdown drive. 7 plays for the Sooners to take the lead, 14-7. 3-yard sweep by Lott. Deep to return, Rick Burns. Frank Lockett as Von Schaumer kicks it off. Very high and very short. Junior Miller is going to take it at the 25. Big tight end at the 30. He's still on his feet. Just as he was breaking into the open, he's hit down at the 36-yard line. Well, you just saw a 28-yard pass from Lott to Steve Rhodes. Here's the longest pass in Orange Bowl history as we go back to 1951. Miami against Clemson in the 51 Classic. Bob Schneidenbach of the Hurricanes to Ed Lutz. And Miami goes 72 yards on the longest pass play in this Classic's history. We'll be visiting some other moments, some nostalgia from the Orange Bowl. Byrne, a little flea flicker to Sorley, but no one open. Sorley hunting, finally throws to Lockett. Now there is an ad-lib pass pattern if I've ever seen one. The man that Sorley wanted to throw to didn't get open.
Watch it here now. Burns just hands it back. Didn't even trust himself to toss it. Now watch him get away from Tabor right there. Has about an hour to throw it. Finally Hunt on top of him. And Lockett did a great job of slipping back inside to catch that football. Just out of sight of your picture there, McCloskey was having a little to do with Darrell Ray. A little hot feelings out on the field.
Burns, good hole up the middle, and he dives to the 37. You can see he wanted more. Someone tripped him up. It appeared to be George Cumbie, number 28, linebacker.
Let's go back to that kick. It looked like an accidental kick. It was kicked so high. But that's something that Schaumer practices with the special teams. They try and kick it to the side of the field against the wind to force a fair catch. Unfortunately, Junior Miller would have no part of that fair catch business. He looked like a big Billy Sims coming out of there.
A lot of people forget you can fair catch a kickoff if you want. Burns again. Oh, Oh, is he a rugged back? He has, I believe, close to a first down. He's at the 31. Might have to measure on this one. Jeff Hansen, in making the tackle, you recall on the play where Rhodes nearly scored on the pass play, Hansen made the tackle. He suffered an eye injury, and it's requiring stitches. We do not know if he'll return for Nebraska.
Now, this is the kind of pattern that Nebraska established in the game that they won at Lincoln, going right up the center, attacking the middle of that Oklahoma defense. They were able to do it on the first drive. They're coming back here. There's Jeff Hansen,
senior from Sacramento, California. He was the man who made the tackle of Billy Sims that forced the fumble at the 3-yard line when it appeared Oklahoma would go in to score and might beat Nebraska back in November.
Well, we haven't seen Oklahoma fumble tonight, Dick.
And it's a first down, Nebraska at the 31 of the Sooners. Burns again, and this time no hole. Gains only a yard. George Cumbie plugging the hole, the linebacker. You don't usually see a linebacker wearing that 28. So that's where he plays on the strong side. 6 feet tall and 205 from Gorman, Texas. He was the Big 8 Defensive Player of the Year last year as a sophomore.
Well, I talked to him earlier in the locker room. Certainly has the statistics and the ability to be a free safety or a strong safety, preferably strong safety in the NFL if he wants to play some pro ball before too long.
He played fullback as a freshman, scored a touchdown in the Fiesta Bowl. Sorley with a toss to Burns, and what a play by the cornerback. Basil Banks, number 17, came up to submarine the blocker and Burns.
Just a great play, and playing out there on the outside, cornerback, even in college, is a tough job. You're playing against some quick receivers, and you also have to be willing to come up and sacrifice your body. Basil Banks did just that. Threw himself right into the middle of it, took down the interference and the back. Big play.
14-7 Oklahoma, and Sorley faces a long 9 on third down. Good protection. Out of the backfield, Franklin stopped far short of the first down. They gained only a couple of yards on that play as Cumbie and Hunt, the 2 outside linebackers, teamed up on the tackle at the 28. Make it the 29. What's Tom Osborne going to do here?
Well, I don't know. Usually you get a pass into that territory and you can be assured some yardage, but the reactions of Cumbie and Hunt were just so quick that there was just nothing there.
Sorley holding for Billy Todd. 36-yard attempt. No good. Wide to the left this time, so Todd has missed right and now has missed to the left. From the Orange Bowl in Miami, a timeout. 2:53 remaining before the half. Sooners 14 and 2:53 left in the half. Oklahoma leading 14-7, and the Sooners have the ball. They're going back to the air. And Lott, receiver covered, and lifts his way to the 36-yard line. A gain of 5. Louis Oubre, 66, the left tackle, helping Lott with a fine block. George Andrews made the stop for Nebraska. The United States Olympic Committee will receive the net proceeds from an additional commercial scheduled in this program under an agreement made with NBC for the broadcast of the United States Olympic Trials. NBC acknowledges the cooperation of the Orange Bowl Committee in helping to broadcast that commercial announcement. Second down, 5, Oklahoma. And Lott again wants to throw. And holding on Pillen. Jim Pillen saw Nixon getting away and grabbed him downfield. Interference against Pillen.
Very uncharacteristic for Oklahoma, Dick. They're throwing the ball around here like they were a passing team. As we said earlier, they only threw 2 passes in that 17-14 game at Lincoln. They have thrown quite a few here and thrown successfully. Jim Pillen, of course, saw that he might be in trouble if that ball was complete over his head. Said, hey, I'd rather have the penalty than the reception. Just grabbed him and hooked him.
Pillen, a very bright lad, a A student in pre-veterinary medicine. Academic All-American, and he used his head there. That was 6 points if he didn't hold it. First down at the 46 of Nebraska. And Billy Sims has the ball. And Nebraska Nebraska shows that good lateral pursuit. Russell Gary, number 9, a sophomore from Minneapolis, Minnesota, came up from a safety spot. He's subbing for the injured Jeff Hansen to lead the charge of the defensive team of Nebraska, and they proudly call themselves the Black Shirts. That's what they wear in practice.
They do wear those black shirts, and boy, they were hustling out to the outside. The mark of good defense. Good pursuit, good hustle. There were 6 of them in on that tackle.
2nd and 11. Lott eludes that first man, and they forced him inside for short yardage to the Nebraska 43. George Andrews made the tackle. Jody Farthing, 53, with a key block, and Barry Switzer checks the clock. 1:18 now left in the first half. Clock is running. 14-7, Oklahoma leads. Nebraska loosens its deep secondary on 3rd and 7. Lott. Great running in the open field. And he's close to a first down at the 36-yard line. 46 seconds, and the clock is running. And now time called by the official with 42 seconds.
Down on the field, we were staying with the action. In the middle of the offensive line, number 65, Greg Roberts, tries to pick up Winemaster. Kerry Winemaster, 51, only gets a piece of him, although he's doing the best he can to drive him by. Lott steps up beyond the pressure and then becomes a running back. Does a good job of getting a little extra yardage here. That's Dunning, 40, finally coming over to the backside, puts him on the ground about a half a yard short. Interesting decision here for Barry Switzer, Dick.
At halftime, we invite you to stay with us here at the Orange Bowl, and we're excited about the brilliant show that they have worked so hard to present to you and all the fans here at the Classic. It's a spectacle of lights, and even the fans will be participating. Vicki Ray Anderson has come into the Oklahoma backfield, and some of the fun of that halftime show, and Teddy Nathanson, special producer just for the halftime festivities.
And we'll be looking from way up the camera high in the sky. That should be an interesting perspective of that super halftime. Saw it last year. I was here for the game, and it was brilliant. If it's better than that, boy, I want to see it.
4th and 1. And Lott doesn't make it. Number 81, Lawrence Cole, was in there, and he had plenty of early help.
96, George Andrews blitzing in. Superb defensive play. Watch him here as they just hamstring. It's going to be an option. Lawrence Cole right underneath there, and from the backside, number 96, Andrews puts him on the ground.
So Nebraska, with 37 seconds left, has time to possibly move down into field goal range. Ball at the 37. Sorley has Lockett, the speedster, wide to the bottom of your picture. He's throwing for Lockett, who was pushed out of bounds on a legal chuck and could not get back inbounds. Wouldn't have counted had he.
Well, there is no 5-yard rule in college ball. As long as the man is in front of you and in position to block you, you can go ahead and give him a chuck. Can't hang on to him, and once he goes by you, you've got to be careful. It's like the old pro rule, but on that particular play, he was out of bounds. He'd had no chance.
33 seconds left for Nebraska. 2nd and 10. Cornhuskers trail Oklahoma 14-7. It's been a good first half. Sorley throws it out of the field of play, intended for Tim Smith, number 84. Dangerous pass.
Where was Barry Switzer on that one? He caught the last one that was thrown over to the sideline that way.
So it's 3rd and 10 for Nebraska. I'm going to guess they go to Junior Miller this time, the tight end, number 89.
Well, Tom Osborne over there sends the play in with Lockett. Osborne, one of the few head coaches of the major college teams that still does a great deal of the offensive coaching himself.
Miller, the tight end, is to the right. They're going to run. Rick Burns flying down the sidelines to a first down at the 43-yard line. Timeout as they move the yardstick. You'll recall Nebraska used 2 timeouts back in the first quarter, so they have only 1 left.
They only have 21 seconds left. That was a fine play. Good execution. Caught the Oklahoma defense by surprise. You see it right there. Burns showing his great speed down the sideline.
Clock running, 17, 16, 15 seconds, 14, 31. Maurice McCloney, a speedy freshman, is in there. Sorley can't find an open man. Phil Tabor, 74, made the defensive play for Oklahoma.
Almost shuts the door on an opportunity to get some points unless they can hang something up deep or possibly get a penalty and then go for a field goal with only one timeout and only 7 seconds. I'm afraid there's not much hope of getting any more points in this quarter.
So the handsome twin, Phil Tabor, last timeout spent by Nebraska, could be the last play of this first half. Miller, 89 on the bottom of the screen, the tight end left, and wide right is Lockett.
Look how deep they've played their secondary and their linebackers. 3 men up.
Sorley going for it all. Number 14, Mike Babb to the 20, the 30, and finally out of bounds at the 40-yard line. The end of an exciting first half in the Orange Bowl.
Now there's a penalty. If it's against Oklahoma, see what the officials will do here.
Flipping against Oklahoma, so that is the last play of the first half. The intermission and a great show coming up for you. First 30 minutes reads out Oklahoma 14, Nebraska 7. I'm at the Orange Bowl in Miami with the Oklahoma Sooners leading the Nebraska Cornhuskers 14-7. Good first half. We expected an offensive show, and although only 3 touchdowns scored, plenty of activity.
I think the classic thing about a matchup like this, these two teams know each other so well, and they're playing excellent football down on the field. Some tough hitting, and doing it quite successfully. The game started as we expected it to, with Nebraska coming out, attacking right up the middle of that Oklahoma defense, and doing an excellent job, taking that first long drive, about 7.5 minutes, all the way down the field behind Rick Burns. Sorley doing some good ball handling. And then, of course, Oklahoma comes zooming back out of that wishbone, and they're so explosive, they're frightening, Dick.
Billy Sims, our first chance to see the Heisman Award winner in person. I can understand now, while the word wasn't a big eight, but some of those coaches didn't swallow until Wednesday after watching him carry the ball.
Oh, you better believe that. You've got all that speed, not only Sims. Kenny King is just terribly quick, and Overstreet is a 4.5, and Lott himself is a 4.5, 4.6 runner. I mean, it's almost frightening. Who do you cover? And if you isolate on any one of those guys out there, you're in deep trouble. So it's a frightening experience to play against them. I've got to commend Nebraska for holding them to 14 points in this first half.
Part of the fun and the joy and the pageantry of this Orange Bowl Classic, the great college bands representing their respective universities. Right now, let's enjoy the halftime show provided by the Pride of Oklahoma Band. The score at the intermission, Oklahoma 14, Nebraska 7.
Absolutely, and they were plenty long. They were just the first a little to the right and the second a little to the left. We see Oklahoma getting out. Pretty soon we'll have more action, but I'm sure that Switzer is not comfortable with that 7-point lead. This Nebraska team is a tough football team. They played good defense.
Expect in the second half. The first 30 minutes went this way. Oklahoma out rushing Nebraska, but by only 28 yards. Nebraska the better passing team, and Nebraska leading in total yardage, although down at halftime 14-7 on the scoreboard. Anything else there you'd like to comment upon, Merlin?
One thing quickly, and that is the fact that the turnover situation is even. That certainly doesn't look like the 9 fumbles and the 6 lost fumbles that they had in that game up at Lincoln. I think Oklahoma surprising a lot of people with the number of passes they threw, with the fact that they have controlled the football, have not made many mistakes in the first half. Very difficult, I think, Dick, for a wishbone team to come back up.
The leading rusher for Oklahoma with 72 yards, 4.8 average, and Rick Burns not that far behind for Nebraska, 65 yards, rushing on a 5.9 average. Pleased to report that safety man Jeff Hansen of the Cornhuskers is okay. He will not play the rest of this game, but that eye injury is not serious. There he is, Mr. Heisman, 1979, the junior from Hooks, Texas, Billy Sims, the leading rusher in the game, and a man that will draw the focus of that Nebraska defense.
Well, he's going to draw more than that when he finally makes his way out of Oklahoma. Maybe that's one of the most exciting things for Coach Switzer, is the fact that that young man is a junior, has got another year to play, and if he gets much better, it's going to be hard to keep him away from that Heisman Trophy for a second time.
Nebraska kicks it off. Todd's boot. Taken by Jimmy Rogers, number 34 at the 20, and he's out to the 30-yard line. Rogers from Forest City, Arkansas, and Oklahoma on the first play of the second half. Whoops, Hicks offside, and it'll cost the Sooners 5. Although a fumble, and if
from Victor Hicks, tight end, got a little extra jump, 5-yard penalty.
Did you see the two men that came into the Oklahoma huddle together? 24 Steve Rhodes and 6 Thomas Lott. They hooked up on a key pass play that set up an Oklahoma touchdown. 14-7 Sooners. Kenny King, not much off. Right. King, big hole. And he's out to the 42-yard line, a first down.
First option, you've got to control the nose man. Watch Jody Farthing there. Get Weinmaster hooked, keep him away. King blows through the hole, is into the secondary before he even has a chance. 63 Clapham down there to throw a block in front of him. That's fine play.
Now Lott goes to the air. Has open.
And the short slant, Lott able to hit on it there.
Means is on Rhodes now, is to the right. And here comes Thomas Lott with running room. 40, 30, 20. Thomas Lott all the way to the 11-yard line. Big game.
Lott reverse spins out of there. Gets a block right there from Overstreet. You get a good look on the inside as he just turns on that great speed. Breaks away a couple of good blocks. Watch down in the right-hand corner of your screen there. A couple of other Sooners down there making room for him. Big offensive play.
First down at the 12-yard line. Billy Sims outside and into the end zone. Oh, my. Oklahoma showing power plus as they come out of that locker room and score in a minute and a half.
What tremendous explosive offense from the Oklahoma Sooners. They did not waste any time at all. Two big plays. Watch Sims here. Takes it and just uses his speed. Gets around the corner. Russell Gary, number 9, came over but couldn't make contact until Sims was into the end zone, and that's a happy young man.
70-yard, 6 plays. Uba von Schaman, he hooked it in there. It hooked through good. So timeout. Drive of 70 yards in a minute and a half, took only 6 plays. The capper, 11 yards by Billy Sims, and a timeout in the Orange Bowl. Oklahoma. And
force a fair catch. He was just over talking to Bobby Proctor on the sideline. Let's see if he does, in fact, go to that, or if he kicks it away. Wind blowing quite hard. Wouldn't surprise me to see him do it here.
Yep, high and short. Taken at the 25. To the 30 goes Craig Johnson, breaks it upfield to the 36-yard line. Craig Johnson with a return. Well, you saw a 38-yard run by Lott. Here's the longest run in Orange Bowl history. Larry Smith of Florida came in the 67 game. Smith from his own 4-yard line. Back at the 6 goes 94 yards for a touchdown. Florida against Georgia Tech. Larry Smith, your old teammate for the Rams.
Great running back for Los Angeles. Went the round of the league, but he was a fine one.
Nebraska's trailing by 2 touchdowns. The pitch to Rick Burns, and Burns all the way. You got to put that in writing. I don't believe it.
I got that from the Nebraska fan.
The Bug Eaters. Rick Burns, a yardage consumer. The fumble after the whistle.
Curve some.
Shorely from his own 47. Overshoots it, intercepted by Darrell Ray. Ray at the 50. Darrell Ray to the 40. And finally knocked out of bounds. Oklahoma. Darrell Ray, the junior from Killeen, Texas, a converted high school quarterback. Picks off that overthrown pass and returns it all the way to the Nebraska 27.
Well, if you're going to miss a pass, far better to throw it short than to throw it long. And Darrell Ray shows you why right here. Not only intercepted it, but did a great job of bringing it up to the sideline, all the way back to the 27-yard line. First and 10 for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Now, Nebraska did not want to turn the ball over, but they did want rain. They thought that would hurt Oklahoma. Let's see. King in motion. Lott stumbling back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 8 play. King breaks a tackle. 20, 15, dragged down, first down at the 12-yard line.
Looked like a little bit of a mix-up in the backfield, but Kenny King took advantage of it. He comes in right here, bumps into Lott. Now watch what happens. King breaks it back against the grain, and then he points to one of his blockers here. He said, "You get that guy, and I'll go further." You see him right there, straight-arming Andy Means. Andy able to knock him down, but he picked up a couple extra yards in the process.
21-7 Oklahoma.
Whoa.
Billy Sims and
moving right down again.
Green's not as hard now. Lott keeps it. Still on his feet. They finally pin him at a... And 6 from the 7-yard line.
You see the 3rd down conversions there. Oklahoma hitting 50% on the day. Let's see how they do on this one. If they can get this one, they will be between the goal line and the 1.5, 2-yard line.
From the eye, Sims running through tacklers to the 4.
Linemen, because they usually don't get the publicity that is spread around among defensive linemen. Of course, the defensive linemen don't get enough either. I can tell you that right now.
Too much time taken by Oklahoma. So the five.
Notice they've overshifted a man now. Now they haven't. They're balanced.
Right down the middle. 26 yards by Von Schaman. So Darrell Ray's interception develops into 3 more Sooner points, and with 9 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, Oklahoma 24, Nebraska 7. Kick, and they get it. Again, it's Johnson at the 26. They run it back to the left again. And he gallops out to the 42, and they're getting very...
The Pittsburgh Steelers, the winners to meet in the Super Bowl on the 21st of January.
Little flanker screen to Kenny Brown, gets a block, and squirts out to the 40.
Good. My mom gets it all.
Fake and a throw, complete at the 35. Franklin and Hip behind Sorley. I am Hip.
Quickly by the defensive team.
Hip trying right tackle. Only gains a...
The weights that some of these smaller guys can lift, it is astounding.
3rd and 5. Hip being one of those devotees. Oh! He's from Miami. 4th and 5. Nebraska goes for it at the Sooner 30. Sorley. Complete. Kenny Brown.
Tradition of great quarterbacking in Nebraska. He says it himself. He said, "I'm not the greatest passer in the world, nor the greatest runner, but I can get the job done for you." He does it right there. Fine pass, right on the money to Tim Brown.
Oh, Brown teaming up with Sorley for a first down at the Oklahoma 17. Miller shifts right, Brown in tight left. A toss to the Hip. 15. Ooh, Kansas okay, left the field under his own power. Don't forget, on Super Sunday, on Saturday night, the eve before the Super Bowl game, a special Super Bowl Saturday night from 9 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Some of your old buddies will be featured.
Yes, Terry Bradshaw going to be singing. His wife, JoJo Starbuck, is going to be doing some skating for us.
And Fred Dreyer, the Rams, will do a little disco dancing along with some other athletes. I wonder if Fred...
Nebraska Cornhuskers can do with that Oklahoma defense.
Another critical call. Sorley takes it inside to Kotera with 4th and 2 from the Oklahoma 9 for Nebraska. And Sorley's going to use a second timeout. Oh, that's frustrating. And Tom Osborne, a rare show of emotion. They didn't have enough players on the field. Number 80, Frank Lockett, comes in to make it an 11-man squad. Oklahoma's tough enough to beat with 11.
And there goes the 5-yard penalty. What in the world is...
I guess they didn't take the timeout.
Well,
They didn't want to waste the
pulled
time.
away.
Now Osborne is saying, hey, we took the timeout. How can you give us 5? But apparently the referee did not acknowledge the timeout. Ken Faulkner, man in charge.
Osborne a little upset, but perhaps a little stoic about it. He said, "Oh, that's it. Now we'll send in Todd, send in the field goal team, and try and salvage the 3 points." But he did not want the 3. He wanted the 7. He wanted to go for it.
This will be a 31-yard attempt, apparently. Todd has missed from 44 and 46 yards. Sorley to hold. Bad snap. Good spot by Sorley. And the kick is good.
We just heard a ruling. It's not permissible to call 2 consecutive timeouts on the same play. Therefore, the delay penalty was assessed against the Nebraska team. That means, though, that they have not given up that other timeout.
So at 4:24 left in the third quarter, Nebraska gets 3, but the Oklahoma Sooners lead by a pair of touchdowns. Next Saturday, basketball NBC. Number 34, Jimmy Ryan. Number 81. Mr. Cornhusker, we understand Ken Fouts, our director, who is also a Nebraska man, he confirms what you said. When he was going to school, they were the bug eaters at Nebraska.
Well, you see, I wasn't pulling your leg at all. I was trying to be fair. While we're talking about Ken Fouts, pass along just our thanks for what a great job they're doing down in the truck of bringing those great pictures to it. Makes our job so pleasant when they are so much a part of the action. Mike Weissman down there, our producer, and great to be a part of a team that can give us the kind of performance that we've had during the year, Dick. It's been a real pleasure for us.
I know you especially can appreciate that team concept, and since this will be it for the 4 of us for the football year, it's been a great season. We thank the guys that work so closely with us, and we with them. That was a personal foul on Nebraska for a late hit, so Oklahoma has it first down at the 40-yard line, leading 24-10. And here comes Billy Sims, 50, 40. Jim Pillen gets him out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
Gets off the ball. Looks like everyone else is slow. Barry's horn, the tackle. Sims pops through into the opening right there on his own down the sideline. Great blocking, great carry.
Now Billy Sims joins the 100-yard club in this Orange Bowl Classic. Oh, and he wasn't going to acknowledge that sideline white stripe. 117 yards for Sims, who carried for over 1,700 yards this season, 20 touchdowns. He averaged 160 yards a game.
How many 200-yard games did he have?
3 in a row. That was a new Big 8 record.
Boy, I'll tell you. Well, he showed us why here today, and the explosive offense of this Oklahoma Sooner team exploding again down to the 32-yard line. Let's see what they can do with it now.
Jeff Hansen, 48 back in the game for Nebraska. Kenny King, no, Thomas Locke keeps the ball. And down, he picked up 4 big yards, 2nd and 6. Billy Sims trying to get outside, loves to run to his right behind.
From the same team before this year, before Sims and...
I know the answer to that one.
All right.
Nebraska. I don't know the year, but it was Johnny Rogers and Rich Glover.
Rich Glover, 1972. You're absolutely right.
So these 2 teams represent the only times that Heisman and Island have gone to 2 members of the same team. Meanwhile, the Nebraska Black Shirts trying to close the door in Oklahoma.
I admire the kind of work they do.
Lott with a quick toss to Overstreet. And he's all the way to 3rd all-time in Texas history. Billy Sims was 2nd. Overstreet. All the way.
Forrest Valor has gone in with Victor Hicks.
Lott all the way to the 2.
Wow. Not so imbalanced at the end of the first half, but it has sure gone Oklahoma's way here in the second half of this game.
Kimball is wide right.
Woo! big play.
That was a 2.5 difficulty. That was pike position, wasn't it?
He jackknifed, I think, about 6 feet up. Watch it for yourselves. Ground level. Gives the ball back to Overstreet Sims. And Overstreet right in front of him. Sims up, does the jackknife right there, and they just bury him. Point his head toward the ground and say, not this time.
But he even looked good coming straight down,
Yes,
didn't he?
did, yes, and graceful.
3rd and goal at the 2. Nebraska digs in. Lot to King. No, he keeps it and scores it. Thomas Lott has 2 touchdowns. Billy Sims has 2. And Barry Switzer may have been saying, we're number 1.
Well, looking at that scoreboard and the way this game has suddenly become one-sided, they certainly have a case for that, Dick.
Lott, who was second to Sims with 9 touchdowns. Billy Sims had 20. They've each scored a pair tonight. And suddenly Oklahoma 30, Nebraska 10.
Let's get Mark Lucky, number 52, the center of Bob here. All he does for this team is snap, but he puts it right on the money, gives that 3-man team a chance to do the job properly.
So a 4-minute drive, 60 yards in 10 plays. Nothing cheap about any of the Oklahoma touchdowns. They've all been from 60 yards or more, and engineered by this man, senior Thomas Lott. Now we've talked about the Super Bowl, the playoffs, basketball. We've got more for you. How about the U.S. Olympic Invitational Track and Field Meet? That's coming up on Super Bowl Eve, 11:30 Eastern Time. One of the featured performers.
High kick again, a little deeper this time.
Taken by Kenny Brown. For 23 with an assist to Willie Wright.
Well, there they are. Roberts, Overstreet, Jody Farthing, 20 Sims. They have really had a second half here in the Orange Bowl.
He was at the game in defensive left-hand position. 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Rick Burns with a flag.
4th and 5th team players in there, and this is a team almost big enough to have 4 or 5 teams. Tendency is to allow a few points on the board, but the characteristic strength of this team is that great running attack and a great explosiveness.
Nebraska hurt by penalties in the first half and nearly a minus 100 yards for them. You saw. That's Burns in motion. Flags down. Sorley. Almost intercepted by James Jimerson. Oklahoma seeking votes for number 1, leading 31-10. Seen in their entirety 30 minutes after the conclusion of our football coverage over most of these stations except for the Mountain and Pacific stations, and that will be regular time for you for the tonight.
Of course, got a couple of big passes early in the game. What a great looking athlete he is. Watch him here. The ball sails over the top of the defender. He's up, got a hold of it. He wanted to get a few extra yards on top of that.
3rd and 3. Both Burns and Hip behind Sorley. I am Hip squirting forward.
Oklahoma's rushing yardage. They had 128 yards in the first half, 149 in the 3rd quarter. And you look at the total stats, 324 for Oklahoma, 273 for Nebraska. Time of possession, well, that's a shocker right there. Nebraska actually had the ball longer than Oklahoma.
But it's Oklahoma 31, Nebraska 10 as Hip takes the pitch. And
Lead.
2nd and 8 at the 31. Great protection. Sorley in open field. He'll pay the price. Oh, at the 3rd and 2, Burns. Does he take a 10 with 12 minutes left in the game? Oklahoma looking pass. An audible by Sorley, and he is going to throw. At Oklahoma, Nebraska, all in the top 6. Burns leaping through a hole. Boy, he's got a lot of fight in him.
If if it's done on the basis of performance today, Oklahoma certainly should have a good shot at it.
Charlie keeping the ball and has some calls from the Longhorn fans. They too. You guys, those Ask Professor questions, you got to have all the answers now. Come on.
Did they tell us who they were?
Well, I think they did. Here comes Rick Burns. Good block. And Burns borrowed their fine young talent. They've been a great help to us. I am hip. Tim Smith split wide left. Brown in the slot. And hip up the middle. No. A reverse to Brown. And he's all the way. Rick Burns, the eye back.
Mad dog defense then for the Sooners.
It's Burns.
Ooh. The quick lateral movement and the acceleration as he spots Bird coming in and takes him one-on-one at the line of scrimmage and drives him back into the stack. That's great defensive play.
Top tackler for the Sooners, had 145, 85 of them solo hits this year. Third and a long one. It's Burns again, and he drags 62. Texas, a senior. You can bet some of the professional scouts have their eyes on that young man. And he has the first and goal for the Cornhuskers outside the one of Oklahoma. That little blue foot on the back of Lockett's helmet, that's a "Follow Me to Miami" sticker.
Yeah,
Really caught up the spirit.
Yes, we're certainly hoping that all our fans across the country are going to follow us all the way to the Super Bowl there in Miami on the 21st of January.
Burns earned it and gets it. Rick Burns, his 99th yard rushing is a touchdown.
Ground level. Watch out. Burns might jump right into your living room here as he goes up over the top and into the end zone. Great leaping dive. 6 points. Let's see if they can add the 7th.
That was a most impressive drive by Nebraska. 72 yards in 14 plays. But all the time consuming that clock, nearly 6 minutes. Booted through by Todd. And a whistle sound. Flag on the play. Illegal procedure against Oklahoma. So the kick is good. And we have a timeout. 9 minutes, 12 seconds left in the game. Nebraska pulls closer. They need the ball. Oklahoma leads 31-17. Penalty against Oklahoma from the 45-yard line. Todd will kick it off, and you have to guess, trailing by 2 touchdowns, Nebraska at least is going to entertain an onside kick, and Oklahoma's ready for it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 9 men up on the 32 for the Sooners.
Not much to lose. Here they come. They're going to kick it onside right here, lining up for it. All the players coming to this side. Let's see what Todd can do with it.
Oklahoma overloads itself, and here it comes. Darrell Ray. So they got that safety man in there with the good hands, and he picks it off. The Orange Bowl record with 205 yards. And the Razorbacks went on to upset Oklahoma. And any hopes? Needs a turnover. Sims. And they're going for the ball, but Sims.
2-4 galore, gets to the outside, wraps around, gets a piece of Sims, but Sims is so slippery. He's a tough back.
Oh! And there it is. Nebraska recovers. Number 63, David Clark, falls on the football after a wicked hit by the Nebraska defense.
It's a counter option. Watch it for yourselves now. Watch spitting out of there, gets hit right there by number 96, George Andrews, the All-American. Hits him, makes the big play. Andrews scrambling for the ball, but it wasn't Andrews that got it. Who was it?
David Clark.
David Clark.
So Nebraska has the football at the Oklahoma 43, and the Sooners are not out of the woods yet. They lead 31-17. Coverage. Oklahoma's first turnover. Nebraska trying to capitalize. Sorley on the option. The hit.
Nebraska has come back strong in many games during the year, scoring well in the fourth quarter. But watch this. Little delay right there. Steve Lindquist, 68 to the outside, and watch him turn it on. Down the sideline. Finally knocked out of bounds, but not until he gets the big ripping gain. First and 10 on the 28-yard line.
Stops the clock with 8 minutes and a second left in the game. 31-17 Oklahoma. Hip again. Second and 5. Hip again. Oh, what a hit. Third and 5. And the Oklahoma 23. Brown in motion. Hip. Listen to those pops.
They're bringing it into measure. There's the scoring by quarters. And look how strong Nebraska has been in the fourth and third quarters of their season. Oklahoma, on the other hand, tends to score more points early in the game. You can see their output third, fourth quarter not nearly as strong as people adjust to that wishbone. And, of course, one reason possibly they've been ahead so far early in those games. But Nebraska, a very strong third, fourth quarter team. I think one of the reasons for that is that they're such a physical football team. They probably have an advantage that way.
Another must down for Tom Osborne, trailing 31-17, fourth and inches. Sorley checking the defense, and Oklahoma brings up the linebackers in the slots. And Sorley sneaks it ahead and appeared to get enough for the first down. Clock stops. Well, they'll measure, or will they just signal first down? First down, Nebraska. 6:28 left. Now plenty of time for the Cornhuskers.
Well, I need to get this one into the end zone and get that football back. Of course, the big fumble stirred by number 96 George Andrews, recovered by David Clark, made it possible for them to get this ball moving. Now Sorley's got to get him in the end zone.
They don't need a field goal here, trailing by 14. Sorley throw, first down at the 17. Nope. Up the middle. Oh. Craig Johnson leads by a pair of touchdowns. Next Sunday, 12:30 from Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh for NFL 78. Houston and Pittsburgh, the winner to the Super Bowl. Second and 8. Johnson diving to the...
Hey, we're going to shut you down right here.
Johnson in motion and Sorley rolling. Hits Johnson, and he's down shy of the first down. Jay Jim. This has been a drive of delicate fourth downs.
We talked about the ability to tackle in the open field. Watch it right there. Johnson obviously would have had big yardage had not Jimerson come up so quickly and put that great tackle on him.
Jimerson, just a sophomore. Of course, with his dad working for the university, his home base right there in Norman, Oklahoma. Another fourth and short.
And the Mad Dog defense is in.
Johnson plowing straight up the middle. Oklahoma says they stopped him.
Now, look
I don't
at
think
me.
they did.
No, I think he made it. It looked like he got almost to the 5-yard line before they pushed him back.
But all this time staying on the ground, Tom Osborne's team is watching that clock tick away, and it's down to 4:24 remaining. Bit surprised they haven't thrown any passes on this drive.
I am too. Certainly the clock becomes a great enemy for them here. I'm afraid they're going to have to try and get another onside kick, even if they get it into the end zone.
Oh, they didn't get as good a spot as they thought. Oklahoma was right. I thought he had gotten farther upfield, but apparently not.
Maybe we can get a second look at that, Dick. It certainly looked like he got enough penetration for the first down, but they marked it down just shy, and Oklahoma takes it over.
At the 6-yard line, and that'll about do it for the Sooners as they strike up another chorus of Boomer Sooner. .24 left. And now it's a matter of trying to generate a long time consuming drive for the Sooners. And we'd like to thank the people that have made this another outstanding Orange Bowl. Robin White, the president, Dan McNamara, the executive director, locations manager Hal Fleming, Ed Goss, the publicity director, and the fine athletic directors of the two universities, Wade Walker of Oklahoma and Nebraska's Bob Devaney. Thank you, gentlemen, and all of your assistants for making it a most pleasant New Year's for all of us here on NBC. Kenny King straight ahead and stopped by the center of the Cornhusker defense.
Well, I think King satisfied just not to fumble that football, Dick. He had it locked up with both arms. He wasn't about to sacrifice it.
Clock running, 3:29, 3:28 left. Sooners will take their time in the huddle. 25 seconds allowed between plays. In comes Freddie Nixon. And from the 7-yard line, 3rd and 8. In the leg power of Billy Sims. Not much of a hole. He made one for himself.
Now, perhaps it's a good time to look back and to try and understand the frustration of Coach Tom Osborne when the announcement was made that he was going to have to play Oklahoma again. They had worked so hard to defeat this great Oklahoma team earlier in the year, and perhaps he knew even then that it would be almost an impossible task to defeat them twice in the same year. And certainly that has come to pass here as Oklahoma has dominated the second half of this game. Of course, they had 31-17 here, trying to run the clock out.
10-man rush. And all alone is Kenny Brown. He fair catches the ball, although he had plenty of room to run it. 42-yard line in Nebraska, but with no blockers. Obviously under instructions, just fair catch it and we'll take our chances. Timeout. Nebraska has just 2 minutes, 21 seconds left. Or Oklahoma will celebrate an Orange Bowl victory.
We're all going to go through withdrawals tomorrow with no football.
Well, we've sure enjoyed having you invite us into your living rooms to bring you this Orange Bowl game and then share with you the Rose Bowl game earlier today. We hope you've enjoyed it.
Nebraska sorely gunning the ball deep. And was it intercepted?
No, stays out of bounds.
Number 31, Sherwood Taylor picked it off, but was not in the field of play. Intended for Kenny Brown.
Give you a quick look at it. Taylor sprinting across, gets good position on the football. It's up in the air right there, but the foot touches on the line. Good call by the official.
Oh, it's been a well-worked game. Let's credit those men again. Ken Faulkner, Marvin Dernberger, W.C. Coleman, Mike Wetzel, J.D. Rowland, and Tim Hatch, the officials in the game tonight. 2nd and 10, Nebraska.
That's where that 147 years of experience comes in handy there.
Sorley. Nice tackle broken by Kenny Brown. Nice running, and Brown has the first down as he ducks into the Oklahoma 47-yard line. We approach the 2-minute mark, and now less than 2 minutes. Our thanks again to Don Olmeyer, executive producer of NBC Sports. It's been a busy, busy weekend, as you can imagine, with all the NBC coverage and so many events. And doggone it, we're proud of the way this network is presenting its sports coverage, and some of the critical acclaim is well appreciated and I think deserved by the people at the top. Chet Simmons, all the people that make our operation work so smoothly. And the telecast tonight produced by Mike Weissman and Ken Fouts, our director. First down pass, dumps it off. Kotera inside. Oh, as he was hit by Barry Dittman, but recovers his own fumble at the 36-yard line. Clock stopped with 1:28 left. Also, our technical director tonight was Horace Ruiz, and Richard Klein, the associate director, tonight's telecast from the Orange Bowl. Timeout, Nebraska. With 1:28 left, the Huskers trying to figure, nope, they don't take the time. Clock running. Craig Selmeyer, Richard Turner, 96, Barry Berger, 26, Jerome Harris, 93. Some new faces in the Oklahoma defense. Sorley testing it. Outside his pass to I.M. Hip. Oh, what a hit. And he survives, stays on his feet, and down at the 22-yard line. His hip and the man who tackled him is not getting up.
Hip is certainly a strong player, running at full speed. Now watch the shot. Cornerback coming up to the outside. 27, Byron Paul takes him right there, nose up, and Paul's head snapped back, whiplash to the ground. Certainly hope he's not injured. He went down directly to the ground. Another quick look. Watch the shot right there as Hip lowered his head, got a little lower than Byron Paul. And Paul is being worked on the sideline. Well, I think he just got his bell rung a little bit.
Glad to see that.
Yeah.
Boy, you take a smack like that, and you're just happy to see a man get back on his feet. Byron Paul, a freshman from Aldous, Oklahoma. Thanks to Jack Brote, who's been our statistician all season long. Assistant to the producer of tonight's telecast, Bill Peters and Mike Hadley. They've been involved with those fine graphics that not only enlightening, but it's a special feature of our NBC work. Bob McKiernan and Joe Comer are technical supervisors. Klaus Hayes, a production manager. With 55 seconds left, Sorley looking for a score. Is it good? No, out of bounds. It was Frank Lockett. Did not get a foot down in the end zone. Well thrown pass, just a little wide.
Watch it yourself. Ball thrown down the outside line, right there in the air, but the feet are clearly out of bounds. He's a good 2 or 3 feet away from that line.
That's Nebraska's favorite pattern, sending that wide man right down the sidelines.
Yeah, they either do that or they like to work to the tight end inside, and they had luck at both today, but not enough to balance out with Oklahoma's offense.
Give to Tim Worth, number 25, his first carry of the night. Worth is a junior from Omaha.
Clock ticking on down, Dick. 45 stops there.
Osborne may have called time. I believe he did. That'll give us a chance to run down the rest of the people who have made this telecast possible. We don't often get a chance to credit everyone. Richard Knapp, the unit manager. I trust the Irish lad here in the booth. Jim O'Gorman.
James O'Gorman.
I don't know how this network survives without Jim O'Gorman.
Who would comb our hair?
Your hair. Jerry Caruso, man with the audio dials. That's no easy job with all the microphones he has set up. Video, Sal Benzo. Electronic graphics, Brad White. Production secretary, Francine Winokur. Boy, she's been as busy as a monster man in Nebraska defense. She's had to cover a lot of bases for us here at Miami. And a halftime spectacular, a Robert F. Yanni spectacular. Ted Nathanson produced and directed it. Ino Rip was the technical director. Randy Wands, associate director. Ed Prendergast, the stage manager, and Hope Thompson, production secretary.
I'll bet you there are a lot of folks out there didn't realize it took that many people to bring them a show of this kind. But we're proud of the hard work that all of those people put in.
And we're just touching on it. We're not talking about all the cameramen, all the other technical aides, assistants. 3rd and 7, Sorley trying to get Nebraska one more touchdown, going deep. And breaking it up was Sherwood Taylor, intended for Kenny Brown. So it comes down to this, perhaps the final play of the football year for the Nebraska offense. And the Sooner band says it's over as they strike up their fight song another time.
And Sorley goes over to talk to Tom Osborne. As you say, maybe taking his last snap as quarterback for this Nebraska team. Done a great job. And they've had a great season. They'll be unhappy about this game. But they certainly played well throughout the year, shared the title of the Big Eight. It's been a great year for them.
4th and 7. Audible by Sorley and a pitch to Worth. And he has the first down, I believe. Reggie Kinlaw made the tackle.
Going to be very, very close. Just a matter of where they marked it there. Looks like he does.
Yeah, we said that before, and we're wrong. We better wait.
Well, let's give him a chance.
12-yard line. It's going to be close. 33 seconds on the clock. And this Orange Bowl 1979 will be history.
Speaking of angles, watching the Rose Bowl, the very difficult call that was made, I'm sure frustrating to all the Michigan fans who watched that ball drop out of the hands of an SC running back onto the ground, apparently before the back was into the end zone. Tough job to be an official. Very, very tough. It's a shame when a call like that turns a game.
He has to feel worse than anyone in the country right now. Sorley swings it out to Worth. Doesn't get out of bounds. He's to the 7-yard line. 20 seconds on the clock. 19, 18. Nebraska may not have any timeouts left.
And Sorley is trying to get him back to the line. He's saying, line it up.
And 11.
10.
Oklahoma taking its time.
9. And they're starting to count it off here, Dick.
A flag down and 3 seconds left. And one of the questions that the country will await, who will be number 1? And there has to be pressure on the men who vote, the coaches themselves, the UPI poll, and the writers' KP. I know Alabama feels now it's a first down on a penalty against Oklahoma, and this will be the final play of the game unless there's another penalty against the Sooners. Interference against Oklahoma, apparently, or holding. And down at the 2-yard line, it's goal to go for Nebraska. It'll either be 31-17 Oklahoma, or Nebraska has a chance to score a touchdown. And this is the final play. Sorley to Miller. Junior Miller, touchdown.
A little satisfaction for Coach Osborne and a little frustration for Barry Switzer, all at the same time.
That makes the score reflect a much different game than 31-17. And when the pollsters look at scores, it's really tough. It is going to be a most difficult decision. And I'm sure people are crying in Alabama and Southern California. The Trojan fans and Oklahoma fans will all say, we're number 1 in unison, but that'll be decided at the ballot box early this week.
Well, Nebraska has shown that they were not going to quit. They've come back strong.
And the ball game is over. This 1979 Orange Bowl ends with a score on the final play by Nebraska. The nation's 2 top offenses with a New Year's delight. They showed us plenty of scoring this evening. The Sooners beat Nebraska.